one thing that John mentioned earlier in connection with tax is a possible state aid challenge. Ollie, could you briefly explain how that might come about?
Sure, thanks, Alex. So when it comes to challenging benefits received by businesses within Freeports on a competition law basis, as you rightly state, the argument a challenging party is most likely to bring, as John stated, is that the receipt of those benefits constitutes a grant of unlawful subsidies or state aid. Both those terms broadly interchangeable here by a public body. In the UK, such challenge will be brought under the current subsidy control regime as set out under the EU-UK Trade and Cooperation Agreement, or looking into the future under the new post-Brexit UK subsidy control regime that is due to come into force in 2022. But under both the current and prospective UK subsidy control regimes, the main route to challenging a subsidy would be through the courts by way of a judicial review. This differs greatly from the old EU regime that was in force in the UK pre-Brexit, where a challenger of a subsidy could report it to the European Commission. Now, broadly, this option isn't available in the UK anymore. So what this means in practice is that the cost of a challenge in the UK will likely be higher. The timeframes to bring a challenge will be tighter. And with any challenge in the courts needing to be launched typically no longer than 1 month from when the subsidy is published. And the grounds on which challenge will be made will be more uncertain, especially given, as I mentioned, we're currently somewhat between two subsidy control regimes. With this in mind, any challengers of subsidies granted as part of the Freeport programme will need to be prepared to act fast, front the costs of the challenge, and at least initially accept the risk of entering relatively uncharted waters in the courts. However, challengers may well see these risks as acceptable, even if an outright win is uncertain, if the primary objective is to draw lines in the sand as to the legal limits of not only the new Freeports programme, but also the UK's just as new subsidy control regime. For example, in relation to the tax benefits we've been discussing today, challengers may deem the risk of bringing a court challenge for subsidy worth it if it would deter the government from extending the tax breaks in Freeports beyond the 3 to 5 year period currently envisaged. For example, if the courts conclude the tax breaks are only lawful when it's relating to an establishment of a new business, as Stephen mentioned, in regenerating certain areas, this may dissuade the extension of the tax breaks by the government past their initial period. So in other words, while the outright success of challenges may currently be uncertain at the moment, business may well choose to go to court to obtain greater clarity on what is lawful and draw a line for the government on what is likely not to be.